Johnson If you want the Rock to win his ass to this ring, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go. You ready to do this again, Guy?
Yes, I am.
I am too.
Guy?
I am. Yeah, well.
You are talking to the legendary.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, my God.
That they call Chip Douglas.
Oh, man. My back is to you, I know, but you can probably hear the eyes rolling back in the head.
I can hear from across the room. Yes,
Man.
I can.
Okay. Yeah, my eyes are doing that Mattel doll thing. Anyway, I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
And we're back once again for yet another episode of Squared Circle Insider Wrestling, as if we couldn't learn our lesson the past, how many weeks now have we done this?
I would go into months, so...
Well,
6 months? How long have we been doing this?
Well, this will be show number 18.
18.
So we've been doing this for 18 weeks.
18 weeks. Wow.
So, yeah, we've been doing it about 3 or 4 months. Yeah. And so far, a big star that we've had on here, besides you and me, was the one and only Chris Plank from Tulsa. Yay, Chris. And he didn't charge very much. I like that.
Yeah, not at all. That's always good.
I like that a lot.
That's always good.
Okay, don't forget, friends, fans, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear. Make it on over to Facebook.com/Insider Wrestling, as if you're not already there. That's why you're listening to this. But that's a good starting point, because from there you can find our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, and all that other fun stuff.
Absolutely. SCI_Wrestling Twitter. SCI Wrestling is our Facebook, and Square Circle Insider Wrestling is... Square Circle Insider Wrestling is our Facebook, and SCI Wrestling on YouTube is where you get to hear it. But speaking of Twitter,
yes,
I just want to publicly say, for the record, to any wrestlers or personalities that would ever wrestle for or ever been in wrestling before, to reevaluate your pricing before you send someone an email. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
By the way.
Yes.
Did you hear the news?
The news?
The news.
Oh, my heart is broken.
It should be half broken at least.
Well, yeah. No, it's completely broken because the set is ruined now. The set is ruined.
All right, so if for people that don't realize, we're talking about Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella being engaged.
They are engaged.
They are engaged. Real life. This isn't storyline. They have nothing to do with each other in storyline related. So this is real life.
I've noticed that.
I could vaguely see that changing at some point. If they really want to dive into a deeper storyline, I can see them touching up on real life, especially when their real lives are on Totally Divas already.
Yeah.
We can kind of, put the pictures together.
I don't know. I'll bet you anything. At some point, Daniel Bryan, probably under the advice of John Cena, Bryan has probably said, no, I don't want to have anything to do with Brie and a storyline, just because they're trying to keep their family life separate from the professional life.
Right.
I'll bet you anything that's the case.
And it could be, but one thing that I do realize is with the McMahons, nothing is off limits. So they will pitch whatever they think, because they think that other people should go along with it because they're willing to do the exact same thing that they're asking people to do.
That's true, because the McMahons have no problem putting family in the ring.
Exactly.
However, they even have lines they won't cross. Like, for instance, how long has it been since you've seen Shane?
Well, Shane doesn't want anything to do with the business.
Well, that's true, and that's my point.
Right.
So they have a line they won't cross when it comes to family. So they do respect wishes like that.
Or even really Linda. Because Linda's still 100% involved in WBE on the corporate level.
Yeah, she is. She's involved in a good amount on the administrative side.
And we haven't seen anything of her in, years?
Well, of course, she had the political run, so she kind of had to lay low there a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, they have no problem at all bringing family into the ring. I'd love to see the McMahons do a family reunion at some point.
Oh, I would love to see Shane back.
I would. I thought he was a jerk, but I would still like to see him back on for an episode.
All right.
I am not so heartless on that.
And so, anyways, the only point I bring up the engagement is to tell you that there's still a chance for the other one.
Well, I can only hold out for hope. However, Brie had. Do you have diabetes?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. Because Bree had an interesting quote on WWE.com. He said, she said, listen to this. She said, quote, "He said he'll love me forever like the ocean goes on."
What?
Is that the best line he could come up with?
Well, I mean, the guy...
He said he'll love me forever like the ocean goes on.
He has deer antlers and lives in his mom and dad's house that he grew up in.
Yeah.
I don't see him being the romantic type.
Yeah. You think when he was a kid he was a member of the Rubber Sheep Brigade? I have no idea where that came from. I have nothing to base that question on at all. Okay.
No, I don't know.
I have no idea what that has to do with anything.
Yeah. So in other news,
yes,
there was a interesting topic brought up on Stone Cold's podcast.
Oh,
and it's kind of a sad note because us going to WrestleMania 30, I had high hopes for Stone Cold to Steve Austin to possibly do a farewell match.
Well, why do I not think I'm going to like the outcome of this conversation?
He basically said, I can't do exact quote here, but in overall terms, the possibilities of him doing another match are slim.
Did he mention any physical reasons?
No.
Okay.
He the reasoning why is because of the fact that when you exit wrestling, and the reason why retired wrestlers always tend to go back is because of the fact that you can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
And he is to the point where he's been away from wrestling for so long now, he doesn't have that desire to really go back into the ring.
He's lost the desire to do it?
He's kind of lost that craving,
lost that loving feeling.
Yeah, that loving feeling to go out there.
Feeling.
He's happy with where he's at in life. Yeah. He doesn't see a need to go out there and do one more match.
Well, I can get that, but I think he's selling himself short when he says he doesn't have the desire to do it anymore because you've been a performer for a while.
Right.
You got it in your blood.
Right.
You can't tell me that. I mean, how long has it been since you've performed a concert?
It's been probably about, maybe close to a year now.
Okay. Can you honestly say you can sit back and listen to a concert and not get a little itch to want to get up and join them?
No way.
Okay.
No way.
Consider what he's been through and how many years he's been through it. Is that really possible that he has lost that desire?
I think more than anything, I think it's because of if he does one more, it's almost like someone that's like addicted to drugs.
Oh, I see. You're saying he's worried that it may start the fire up and he won't be able to put it out.
Well, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
But I would, as a performer, and from a situation like his where he is a performer and I know he loves wrestling, I can see that being the real reason. Because if he does one more match, he's going to get that itch.
I wonder if he would consider doing something like a guest referee gig.
I think that would be more of a possibility.
Yeah, because I can still see, in spite of that quote or the insinuated quote that you had there, I can see that being a pretty firm possibility in WrestleMania 30.
Right, and it very well could,
and probably have something to do with Daniel Bryan.
I would actually think more CM Punk.
Maybe. I would tend to think Bryan.
Or Daniel Bryan, because he is going against the McMahon, so I could see definitely either way a possibility.
Okay.
We were just kind of hoping for the CM Punk feud.
Since the music is getting ready to play, do you have a tweet of the week ready?
I do.
Well, let's roll that theme song, shall we? Yeah, get down with your funky self.
I feel like, I don't know.
Yes.
There's the feeling.
All right.
I just let it go. So this is, I follow this new person.
Uh-huh.
And his Twitter handle is not Jim Cornette. So what he does is he does every tweet as if he is Jim Cornette. But he made it for a record to say, I'm not the real Jim Cornette.
Okay, so what is his tweet handle?
Not Jim Cornette.
I know it's not, but what is it?
That's it.
Huh?
Huh?
What? So if I saw his handle, I would see the words, not Jim Cornette.
Correct.
Okay. This
Correct.
is starting to sound like an old Abbott and Costello routine. No, I know it's not Jim Cornette. What is it?
So we have to this is a little bit of a math problem.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know the greater than and less than signs?
Yes.
Okay. So his tweet,
the less than points to the left, the greater than points to the right.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. I don't know. So here's the tweet of the week. You got me really confused now. Watching paint dry is greater than a Triple H promo. So for the Matt term, a Triple H promo is less than watching paint dry.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
Oh. So,
And you know, Hunter sees stuff like that and just he just lets that roll off his back.
oh, yeah, because he'll still do the 20-minute monologues
Oh yeah,
all day, every day.
because he can back it up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely
that's
he can.
What he says,
Yeah, I ain't going to question it.
I think I could take him
In what? In bridge?
on an online argument.
Well,
That would be about it. Yeah, I'll whip him.
in hearts, maybe.
Maybe.
Pinochle. No, not even pinochle.
Maybe. So I would hate to have his knuckles on my pee.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Let's go
That's
on.
right.
Okay, what is this? Excuse me. On the Raw recap, you make mention here of a staged walkout on Triple H and Stephanie.
Right.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, then they walk out or try like do like a pretend walkout.
Well, it really wasn't a walkout. It was more like a mass exodus to the ring to save Daniel Bryan's butt on the Raw before. And now they were kind of calling everybody out on the carpet on that. And actually psychologically in the storyline, I thought this was kind of clever. They turned it around by having Stephanie address everybody on the stage and goes, "Shouldn't you be doing this fight for you? Don't you," and should name the wrestler, "Don't you deserve to be a championship? Don't you deserve this? It should go down." So, I mean, it's obvious they're trying to set everybody up against Daniel, but I don't think that worked anyway.
No. Especially into the main event.
Yeah. So,
what do you think about the Triple H Stephanie angle?
Oh, I like it.
You like it?
I do. I like it. I think we're almost getting back to old school Attitude Era.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's something that's been missing because we've been way too far into the corporate milk down storylines that they've been having.
Well, who would have thought? Just think, us watching wrestling, 12 years ago? Mm-hmm. 12 years ago, 14 years ago, that we would say that Triple H would be Vince McMahon's character.
Oh, no way.
And just that scenario alone, there ain't no way.
No.
No way.
No. I mean, it's true. Triple H has kind of what's his real last name is Levesque, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Close.
Levesque. I'm not. I'm sure that that's French Canadian. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation of it. But his character has done a turnabout, and it was almost like Samson losing his hair.
Right.
As soon as he lost his hair, he went corporate.
Right. And it's all about the business now. It's all about
good
business.
for business.
It's good. What's good for business, which I love.
Yeah, that is not a bad catchphrase. That is not a bad catchphrase that they've come up with.
Not at all.
Okie dokie. I like the fact that Wyatt's beat primetime players this week.
Right.
And the Shield has got to be in the Wyatt's future. So that begs the question, who will the crowd back?
And that's the $1 million question. You got to think, and this is where I'm going to start my rant right now. The Wyatts are a prime heel faction.
Oh, they are. Big time.
And the current storyline with the Shield, they can't be a face.
And that's true. And I think if they brought them to face the Shield, I think they would be shooting themselves in the foot.
So you're going to have to turn the Wyatts a face, which I do think that could happen. Mm-hmm. But man, you just shot yourself in the foot. You could have done so much stuff with the Wyatt family before they turned face. And WB Creative, in my opinion, is where they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball majorly because this was a faction. This was a group that was money. Money. And the fact that they don't show up on every show.
Yeah.
They've rarely seen a pay-per-view match besides Kane. To see that waste is just it's saddening to me because they had gold and they still do have gold.
Yeah, they still have it, and because there's so much that they could do with this because they had a beautiful setup,
right,
and probably one of the most successful build-ups in the history of the WWE. because more times than often, whenever they built up a wrestler or wrestlers in this case, where they had some kind of mysterious video leading on for weeks to come, it was usually kind of a big letdown by the time the wrestler actually came on board.
Right.
This was actually very climatical. I mean, it climaxed when they came on board.
And that's the great thing about it. Unless it was a returned wrestler that they were doing vignettes for, there is no over superstar that they were able to produce with vignettes besides the Wyatt family. That's the best.
Yeah,
the best
I agree.
they've ever done.
I think that was one of the best things that they've come up with in a long time.
Now,
not like the Los Tres Amigos that they got getting ready to come out.
That's
My gosh, that's a big joke.
That's where I was getting ready to go next. Speaking of vignettes,
Oh man,
the Los Matadores.
yeah.
So they're set to debut next week. You want to hear my rumors that I've been hearing?
What's that?
That there could be a third one.
Please don't tell me it's Chevy Chase.
No, no, but it could be a midget.
Why?
Yes.
No, no.
Yeah.
Hornswoggle?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're bringing in someone for it.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't think it's actually going to be Hornswoggle.
Wow. So it'd be 2.5 men.
Maybe 2.5 men.
Okay, they can.
I think more than anything, they're setting this tag team up to be more of a comedy act.
Well, I think so. And if they bring in the little people, then yes, it's going to be a big joke.
Oh, I'm so sorry for little people that I just totally offended them, like saying midgets. So
well, midget, little people, dwarf. Hey, it's
I think
if that offended you,
offensive.
if that offended you guys. Bite me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Careful.
I
Careful.
I know because their head level is not at a, is
Exactly.
at a prime location. But no, come on. Let's not get too overly politically correct. They're chicks, they're babes, and you guys are midgets. Okay, there. I've said it. I've made a lot of enemies now. We're off to see the wizard.
We're gonna get emails.
Yeah. Well. Okay. This thing with the Big Show kind of disappointed me. I mean, we've had the Wyatts come out. If they're looking at putting them up with a Shield, they're going to be flipping. They're going to have to, as you mentioned, they're going to have to flip to face. They're going to have to.
Right.
Big Show has flipped more times than an Olympic event.
Yes.
And he's a heel for a while. He'll go away, he'll come back as a face, stay a face for a little bit more, and then they turn him heel again. And he's been doing this yo-yoing back now for how many weeks?
Oh, at least 4 weeks now.
Yeah, and now Monday night, I started to see a bit of him turning hardcore heel because you notice how quickly in the storyline they had him knocking out the Miz. I mean,
there was no hesitation.
none whatsoever, none. He flipped him around, boom, down he went.
Unlike Dusty Rhodes.
However, did you see him in the in that show called Main Event on the following Wednesday night?
No, I did not.
Well, he was a face again.
Huh.
They had him as a face again. I mean, it's just constant yo-yoing. Now, this criticism that I'm giving has no criticism against Paul White because Paul, who plays the role of Big Show, does a dynamite job, and I think he has the coolest ring music in wrestling right now.
Well, it's a big show.
Oh man.
It's a big bad show tonight.
Oh man, I just loved him blues.
It's a good theme.
It's besides the Wyatt family, I think it's probably one of the best ring music around. But poor Mr. White, Paul White, he's having to flip back and forth, and he does a consummate job. So again, I am not trying to put any disparaging remarks on Paul White whatsoever. I think he's one of the best performers the WWE has seen in years.
Right.
And I think he's going to be the best they'll ever see for years to come because he sells the character, and he sells the character very, very well. But my God, like I said, they had this guy flipping so many times between heel and face and heel and face. I really don't know what to expect from one week to the next. And I know maybe that might be their goal. But, you flip too many times, and they start suffering from the boy cried wolf syndrome. In light of that, Mr. Chip, I have made another piece of ring music.
Really?
Yes, I have redone Big Show's ring music.
Well, they call him Flapper.
That's the new theme song for Big Show, as produced by yours truly. I think that one will be a winner.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah. See what happens when I have way too much time on my hands. You got to admit, that's pretty cool, huh? I even matched up the keys and everything. Well, I tell you, I'm proud of myself. Okay, you remember the TV show, right?
Yeah, Flipper.
Okay, thank you very much.
The dolphin.
Yeah. But, I mean, the guy does flip. I mean, like every 10 minutes or so. I mean, come on. Give the poor guy a character. Let him play it because he plays it well.
They're setting it up.
I know they're setting up something, but if they start flipping too much, that could actually, damage the franchise.
Now here's a food for thought.
Okay.
I think me and everyone else could see the heel turned by him.
Yes.
Maybe they're going to do a twist with him to where they're not going to turn him face.
I can't help but think there must be some kind of debate within WWE as to whether or not he should be a heel or a face, because he plays both parts so well.
Right.
You think maybe they might be throwing it out there to the audience this way to see which way the audience is going to support?
Boy, they could. They could be. They could be just trying to feel it out.
And, if that's the case, I would be very disappointed. Because, it's not up to the WWE universe. It truly is not, nor should it be. It should be a case of where WWE, well, and this falls in line with the tradition of professional wrestling to begin with. Professional wrestling has always came out and said, okay, this person is a bad guy. You shall boo him.
Right.
And then it's their job to play the part well enough to make sure the audience does follow. If you start trying to please everybody all the time, guess what happens? You please nobody.
Well, except for Stone Cold.
Yeah, but that was never meant.
Yeah,
that just kind of happened. Well, actually, that proves my point. The audience is going to do what the audience is going to do.
Yeah, the audience is going to do what
you cannot manipulate the audience to that extent.
And that's where Jim Ross, I think, played a huge impact on WBE. Because back then, he was VP of Talent Relations. He can easily hear the crowd. And I think he was, being in Vince's ear, saying, hey, you hear this? Well, they were going in the right direction with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you very well could be right. I mean, it's okay to read the room and to read the audience and then to try to go to the direction the audience is wanting. But in the same respect, you can't let the audience make all of the decisions for you.
Why not?
Because it's never worked. It has never worked. I'll give you a classic example, and this is somewhat outside of the realm of professional wrestling. But this happened. I actually saw this happen. This was in radio. There was a radio station that I went to work for in Muskogee, Oklahoma. They were for years and years and years a top 40 radio station. They decided to go with a country format. And of course, right up front, the rock and roll listeners that listened in daily, they protested, as you would expect. The advertisers kind of hit the panic button. They weren't willing to advertise because they didn't think anybody listened to it. In fact, they did have a following with a country audience that was beginning to grow. The management of the radio station hit the panic button too. They went back to top 40. That lasted about a week, and then all the people who had started tuning in to listen to the country started complaining, and now they started having a double retrospect. They turned around and said, okay, we're going to be top 40 in the morning, country in the afternoon, top 40 on the drive time home, and then country at night. The station had the worst ratings in radio history because they let the audience decide the format. And that's what happens. The same thing will happen in wrestling if they continue trying to let the WWE universe rule the storyline. You can't do it. Be a professional, write the storyline, stick to it.
And I think Vince McMahon is the one that has a full grasp on that. It's because of the fact that he will do what the fans want to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
But he's always been good about staying on track. Let's bring up John Cena as a perfect example. Mm-hmm. John Cena, in a lot of cases, is booed out of the building.
Oh, yeah.
But yet there's a majority fans that eat up his merchandise.
Yes.
That eat up his character so much.
Yeah, that's a good example.
That you cannot turn that guy heel.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example. Yeah, you're right. He is it's a wonder that doesn't take a huge toll on his confidence.
Right.
And to that extent, I have to give John a personal pat on the back because, I mean, that takes a man of steel.
Oh, I give him kudos all day long. Yeah. Just because of the fact that he's able to embrace it now. He'll go into Chicago. He'll go into Philadelphia where he's really hated and embrace it.
Oh, yeah. And yet these same fans will, in fact, like, as you mentioned, they will flock to the souvenir stands and buy his stuff.
Exactly. So it's you know, it's a weird scenario. It really is.
You cannot go by audience response. You can only go by audience purchase.
And another example, Fandango.
Yeah.
Jersey, after WrestleMania, the Jersey episode, you know, you have a whole audience, you know, singing his song during the show, after the show. And it carried over for maybe like a week or two. But then you get in the other towns, then it starts to fade out. Mm-hmm. So then you start to see that character kind of fade out itself.
Yep.
So they always have to be really careful on what audience they listen to at the same time. Because audiences in Jersey, Philadelphia, Chicago are going to be completely different from, you know, a fan base in Nashville.
That's true.
You know, Dallas, you know, Salt Lake City.
You know, we're going to run out of time here pretty
I'm
quick.
So sorry.
Man, that's okay. No, I mean, these are all fascinating topics, but okay. The CM Punk Ryback angle. I was so happy you were right on who was going to be joining with Paul Heyman.
Well, I said Biggie Langston.
You said Biggie Langston,
but I thought Ryback would be an ideal guy too.
You certainly had the right size.
Oh, absolutely.
And with Ryback coming up, going, that's how you beat a bully, and that's what he made reference to somebody that to CM Punk. He made reference to CM Punk being a bully, and I thought, well, that's an interesting twist on that. But no, I love that story angle. And again, this is like the McMahon's getting involved. It seems that we are revisiting the Attitude Era. It seems to be making a comeback. And I hope it's here to stay, because that's when wrestling was at its gold.
Oh, absolutely. Completely agree.
And, you know, we got two of the other people coming back into the fold, at least within the storylines, that certainly could lend that, and that would be Cody Rhodes with Goldust.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's awesome.
That is beautiful.
I think it's an angle very well done. My outside prediction is Dustin Rhodes or Goldust will turn on Cody.
Could be.
That is going to be my angle. And I can see a match between Cody Rhodes and Goldust in the near future, at some pay-per-view, maybe WrestleMania, if they can drag it out that long.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I was just trying to picture in my mind, would he be going back as a heel as Goldust or Dustin Reynolds?
Man. Because I remember the natural Dustin Rhodes back in early WCW days, and I really enjoyed him. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time seeing him actually letting them go. You almost have to go Dustin Rhodes.
I if they keep him as Goldust, I'd hope they go back to the character when he was going through the fets.
Right.
I don't know any other way to put that. You know, when they do the twitches.
Oh, the
and
Tourette
stuff.
thing?
Yeah.
I saw him
I thought that was the funniest thing.
I saw him do a shoot interview, and I still don't know if it's real or not, to where he was doing that in real life.
Oh, no.
And so I'm not 100% sold on the fact that he actually has Tourette's. Oh, it's Howard Stern's show.
Oh. Well, of course, anybody's going to do something on Stern.
Yeah. So I don't know if he can stay in the character.
Because, you know, it's just like the old saying goes, one good Stern deserves another.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, but Goldust, I love that part of his character. I hope they keep that up.
Maybe.
Can you believe it?
This is it?
This is
I hear that music.
I mean, we were getting ready to talk about the Shield versus R-Truth and RVD, the Usos, primetime players, Zack Ryder, Daniel Bryan.
An oversized handicap match.
Man, that was a big match. I love the way that turned out.
I do too.
I think they did that justice. All in all, with the way the WWE is going, I'm seeing a revival back into the way it should be. I'm seeing some good storylines come up. I'm hoping they're going to keep it that way. Okay, you know, we didn't even get into any predictions for Raw for this week. So, hey, the coast is up, and personally, I think it's just because Chip was getting tired of losing his predictions.
Big E Langston will turn face at some point now. That's my new prediction.
He very well could. I just hope he loses the baby powder. I'm getting tired of that.
Me too. Well, no, keep it.
Okay, stick around. Join us next week right here for Squared Circle Insider Wrestling. Bye.